Friend that wanted to ask a question. Let me message them real quick. That's funny. So okay, it's already on YouTube.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. Um, so let me just have it open for the chat. So I'm real quick while you go ahead and so I'm gonna introduce you. So everybody tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. I've interviewed Chris before, so to anyone that's not familiar with Chris, this is Chris Wasko. She's a psychic medium, and she specializes in helping people heal from narcissistic abuse, also connecting old souls to kind of their where they or what's a better
Just
way of phrasing it?
probably helping heal trauma
Okay,
and heal their energy and the working through those layers.
absolutely. And Chris is now an author. So
Yeah,
congratulations, Chris.
thank you so much.
That must feel very good. What a beautiful accomplishment. If you want to go ahead while I type the number for anyone that wants to call in into the chat, if you want to go ahead and tell everybody about your book, so they know and then
Yeah.
where they could find it and all that good stuff. So I'll do the thing in the chat real quick.
All right, perfect. Thank you. The book is called An Old Soul's Journey, and it looks and reads completely like a children's book,
Mm,
but it is really a book for adults and adults to heal their inner child and inner child wounds. So I really did not know how this was going to go. I sat and I wrote this poem in one sitting, and I really connected with it and I really loved it. And then I said, this has to be a book. I just felt very guided to that. And then I found an illustrator that really brought the vision to life, page by page, even beyond what I could have imagined. So it really just came together, and now it's out in the world, and I'm excited about it. So we'll see how it does.
wow. How big is the book?
It's actually not very big. It's
Oh,
I think a total of 28 pages.
oh wow.
So like I said, it really like it reads like a children's book. So imagine, you're sitting with a child reading and you're flipping through and you're looking at the pictures and just appreciating the visual aspect. But there is a high vibrational element to inner child healing, to the soul, to what it is and what it means to be an old soul that is going through this lifetime and things they might encounter. So, in some cases, it's metaphorical and just, and we all have our different stories and our different journeys, of course, but it's just recognizing that as an old soul, we pick the difficult lessons. And sometimes it's hard to really connect to that as a human because we'll question, why is it so hard? Is it going to stop? Is this going to end? And I hope this book serves as a reminder that there is a reason, and there is a bigger meaning and a bigger connection to it, and that we all also support it even when we don't feel that we are.
Mm. That's funny. No, because all that has been coming up lately. So that's really interesting. So you did the illustrations yourself, or who did the?
No, I found an illustrator and she was just amazing, and I'm really grateful. She just, like I said, she brought the pages to life. She brought the book to life.
Wow.
I do not dabble in art, so there is not really a shot that my book would look the way it does without her. At least not if I did it. So you would see some lovely stick figures, but she would just, yeah, she just made it amazing. Especially the character in the book is a little girl, but she also has a rabbit with her. So it was just really neat to see the drawing of the rabbit. And I was like, I can't draw animals at all. I barely even draw a stick figure. So artists amaze me, and artists are old souls. So I love connecting to people who do art or connect with art in any way. It's just pretty incredible.
No, absolutely. So you didn't do that art piece behind you, right?
No, no, I have this behind me because not sure if you know this because I do feng shui and I really love feng shui, but it is very good for your business to have mountains behind you.
Wow. So I need to get some mountains then.
My mind gets a picture of the mountains, but it's got to be one you connect with, like I looked through a lot of pictures of mountains and nope, nope, nope. And then finally I was like, ooh, I like that. You got to feel that kind of, ooh, I like that. And I want that behind my head. So I just like the look of that. And I used to have different pictures and now it was just time for mountains.
Yeah, yeah, no. Oh, and I just saw someone's in the chat watching. Hey Don, how's it going? I don't know if he wants to call in, but if he does, by all means, the number's right there, or let me know and I'll send you a direct link if you have any questions for Chris. Um, yeah, most likely I'd probably use a picture I've taken myself of the mountains, because I
Perfect.
yeah, I'd
Yep.
absolutely
You'll connect with it.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
always
and I
in the
could see
mountains.
behind you, you could probably get something to fit where, you just kind of move things around a bit and you have your stuff that you already have. But yeah, the mountains,
Yeah, see, like
it's
this,
good for business.
yeah, the painting, this one, uh, it was from a dream I had, and a friend was
Oh,
able to draw it out, and I was like, I had gone to a ceremony. I don't know, I didn't tell you that, right? So I could tell you, right?
yeah, no, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, so I
Tell
had
me,
gone to
please.
yeah, I had gone to a ceremony, and after the ceremony, I had that vision, and it was like me by myself in a ceremony with this medicine man, and then the fire was in the middle, and then out of the fire, the phoenix rose. I don't know if you could see like
Oh,
there's the
beautiful. Oh, what a
medicine man.
picture.
Yeah, so I was just mind blown that I was able to tell this friend, and like they were able to capture the essence
Brought it
of
to life.
basic, yeah, what I saw. It was like
Yeah,
yeah. So, and it's huge. I try
it's
to
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Uh
Very
and
shamanistic.
yeah. No, but that's how it was, the vision. It was like, and the phoenix, right? I was like, wow, I've never really dreamed of a the phoenix is all about like death and rebirth, right?
Yep, out of the
Um,
ashes. Yep.
yeah, right. And you're familiar with it, right? Especially being
Yes.
because when I looked into that, it says like a Scorpio is like one of those signs that if they reach their full kind of potential, the last stage is a phoenix, right? Like you go through like
Yeah.
a scorpion.
Hmm.
A scorpion is even like the beginning of the right. I forgot what it is. Are you familiar with all seven or no?
No, I am not, but I know what you're talking about just
Yeah.
because of the Scorpio connection.
Yeah, yeah. I think the sixth is an eagle. So it's like that's a pretty mature like Scorpio that has evolved and this and that, and they realize things are more like interconnected, family, this and that, right? And then the Phoenix is like that level of connecting to the spirit world and everything beyond even this physical plane. You know what I mean? So,
It's so interesting you say that because when I was healing my thyroid because I had an autoimmune and with all the trauma I had, that there was a lot to heal, and I often heard that term coming out of the ashes, and so I very much
mm,
connected to the idea of being a phoenix. So that's why when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I heard, like people would tell me that, like, oh, you're like a phoenix out of the ashes because
oh
of
wow.
how I healed and what I healed and how my life shifted. So yeah, it is really interesting when those dots connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the is that's like right here, right? The thyroid?
Yeah, it's a gland right in your throat there, and
So
like
what
I
was going,
had
if you don't mind me asking, like what was going
no, I
on?
don't
Like,
mind at all. I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and it's basically, for me, I felt like my thyroid was inflamed.
mm,
And uh, I have learned over time that a lot of kids who are, or I should say, adults that had childhood trauma often have thyroid conditions. I see this in a lot of my clients, especially those that have dealt with narcissistic abuse, because they have either been criticized for speaking, for talking out of turn, or for not saying the right things or speaking enough. So the thyroid tends to get affected quite a bit for somebody that has been raised in a narcissistic environment or a very traumatic environment, because there's a lot of fear. But you don't start to see that until later in life.
Mm.
So, because if you think of it, people don't get sick overnight for the most part, right? And, when you have an ailment, it takes years for that to, come to light, right? They say the body starts to whisper and then it starts to yell, right? And so when I had my second child is when it really started to get aggravated. And I had learned after, all of this had happened that because of all the stress the body goes through just by giving birth alone, it could activate, an autoimmune condition. And for me, that was what had happened. And, it was very difficult because it made me so incredibly tired. And here I
Mm.
was, a mother trying to take care of two children at the time. And I was exhausted and drained and didn't know what was wrong with me because I saw doctor after doctor after doctor, and all of my tests came back normal. So no one knew what was wrong with me. And then finally, I went to a naturopath who started to kind of figure things out a little bit more, getting on the right track of what was going on with me. Because she saw that my adrenals were tanked. And it is very common for someone with a thyroid condition to have adrenal fatigue as well, because the adrenals work to help the thyroid. So if you have a thyroid that's struggling, then the adrenals are going to be working on overtime to try and support it. And then I was trying to work on my adrenals, and I kind of was able to start supplementing to help my body get better. And, it's also confusing too when you're a young mother that's raising children. So a lot of the symptoms kind of go along with new parenting, right? You're
Mm.
tired, you're drained, you're not sure if you're hungry or not. It's just a lot of these weird crossovers that, am I really sick? Is there something wrong? Am I stressed? Or is this just life now? So it really took time. I mean, gosh, I think like 4 years. And then I finally found somebody that was able to tell me I had a thyroid issue.
Oh, wow.
And that was like the first step in the right direction to really start supporting my thyroid, to really start working with my thyroid. And then along this time, I also found Medical Medium, and he has a book on thyroid healing.
Mm.
And his first book I had bought and I read, and I resonated with so much of it that when his thyroid healing book came out, I said, I'm going to do this too. And I followed the protocol. He has a 90-day protocol in the thyroid healing book, and I followed it to a T because I knew I was going to heal. I didn't know how, but I'm a very good direction follower if I need to, and especially when I'm motivated. And I was so motivated to heal, so I followed that, and I started getting better and better. And I just completely adopted that lifestyle. So a lot of the foods he says not to eat, and a lot of the things that you should eat to support your thyroid and support your health, I just incorporated into my life. And then it was a kinesiologist that had diagnosed me with a thyroid condition and supplemented me. And then on one of my follow-up appointments after doing the medical medium protocol, he looked at me and he's like, you healed your thyroid. And just hearing those words were so empowering. So I was able to go off the supplement I was on and never look back. So it's just been such a journey, and I'm grateful. But this was also around the time that I cut off my parents. So here I was healing emotionally, healing physically. And when all of this was happening, that's what was opening me up spiritually, because, all these things that were keeping me blocked from spirit were now healing. And then I started having all these other experiences, and yeah, it just changed my life. So, they say a healer has to heal themselves first. And that absolutely is something that happened with me and for me. And I now help others, and with all different kinds of things. It just, for the most part, I say I do energy healing because everybody, can work through something in their energy, and everything is energy, right? We're also sensitive, and there's so many layers to energy. So it's just been a pretty incredible journey, if I do say so.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And so a lot of times the thyroid condition, like people will have it for their whole life, right?
Yeah, so uh medically speaking, When people are diagnosed with a thyroid condition, they are told that they have it for life and
Wow.
they have to be on a medication for it. Uh,
Mm,
I am extremely sensitive to medication. I've had a lot of situations where I've had some seriously bad reactions and side effects. So I was very determined to not go on medication because of that.
wow.
And this is also a thing with old souls. Old souls are so incredibly sensitive that medication doesn't always work for them, or they don't need as much as others because of the sensitivities. It's just, I never want to get in the way of anyone and their doctor and their prescriptions, but if they ever find that something's not working for them or it doesn't work for them the same way it once did, it's because of the sensitivities and the way our energy changes in the body. So, just for me and my own body and my own choices, I just knew there had to be a way, right? Our bodies are incredibly powerful, and I think it's about having the right tools to support us. And for me, medical medium was the right tool, and or at least provided me the tools to heal myself through food
Mm,
and to just recognize my sensitivities a little differently. So I've really appreciated that awareness.
absolutely. No, no, and like like I was dealing with my sciatic nerve thing for like I don't know over a year, and everyone kept saying like do yoga, this and that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I finally started. It's been about 2 months, and when when the sciatic thing would hit me, I couldn't even drive like 30 minutes, and now yeah, I've been able to drive like 2 hours and this and that, and I'm like wow, like it seems a little like it almost seems too good to be true, but the same like you, like I always knew it was gonna get better, but I just
Yeah.
didn't know
Yep.
what. Like I had like I guess I did know what I had to do, but I wasn't doing it. So I'm big on because that's what the doctors were doing. It was just like, oh, here's pills. They gave me endless amount of pills, and they would have kept giving them to me and never really helped me, solve the issue. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but I know it was deeper even like that, like how you were able to figure out that the thyroid condition also had things to do with who you were dealing with, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and I wanted to share that too, just in case, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but anyone that's listening, you actually helped me, right? Like I interviewed you the first time, so I definitely want to share that, right? So in case anyone's nervous to call in or anything like that, after the interview, I just happened to tell you, I was like, oh, could you hold on, and I told you like off the thing because I was like, it's a little more personal, so I wanted to tell you off the thing, off, the recording. And I told you about, and I was just sharing. I don't think I was really looking for you to like tell me anything, right? And
No, yeah, yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just a
I
share.
was just
Yeah.
sharing, and then you happen to help me. Definitely feel like it was a whole divinely guided thing, right? Because for some reason I wanted to share that with you, and then I guess you were able to see something to help me get some kind of closure that had been like an open situation for like a few years, And it was like to me, it was like the spirit world validated you. Like, so it was like that was a beautiful thing, right? So, like after we had the talk, and then I went in my backyard, and it was like the whitest dove just came out of nowhere, and it
Oh,
flew.
wow.
Yeah, and it was like it symbolizes like freedom, right? Like free, like
Yeah,
I had
peace.
finally broke free of this situation.
Hmm.
And I guess that's why, the healing wherever you gotta look for it, you know what I mean? But it's on people if they really how bad do you want to like heal from something? And yeah, it's crazy, like because even for me thinking like there's not I already brought closure to anything I need to bring closure to, but there's sometimes things that really do help you, you know. And the funny thing about the dove that was that um it was like the second time within like I don't know if it was a month or 2 months, right? Like I had this urge to, for some reason, my brother passed away in 2019.
Hmm.
And the day I got the call, I was at a restaurant and something told me to go back to that restaurant, 5 years later. And, five is a number of change or whatever. And so when I go to the restaurant and I look at, and there was all this symbolism. And then the same as I was leaving, the whitest dove just comes out of nowhere. And it
Oh,
was like,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, why did I have? But I understood why I had to go back there, right? There was a
Yeah.
reason I had to go, but it brought closure. But all that to say, like, yeah. So whatever what you told me, like, helped me absolutely. So yeah, I was grateful, and just in case, like, anybody does want have any questions about that, because kind of had did have to do with like a whole narcissistic kind of situation and all this and that, or yeah.
Well, I
So
appreciate you sharing that too, because I know you had messaged me that I help, but I didn't know to what extent and how. So I just I appreciate hearing that, and I thank you for sharing because that's what I hope to do. Really, is just help people, even if it's just to bring clarity, to bring closure, to help heal their energy. I do understand a lot because of everything I've gone through. So yeah, it's so thank you again for sharing. I'm glad.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess if people, because I had a few people that said that they wanted to call in, but have you had anything interesting happening lately, like with the energies and stuff? Because I had a lot of like
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, if you want to share it,
Yes.
because I've had a few interesting things, but I'll give you a chance to share yours, and then I'll share something that happened to me too.
Yeah, so yes, a lot. I mean, I had a client today that scheduled an energy healing session with me. And that's mostly what I meet people for is just to, see where their energy is off, how we could help heal it. I actually used to call it spiritual counseling, but because every session pretty much dealt with energy healing, I just changed the name to energy healing and reading. But I'm talking with this person and we're just working through her energy. She has a narcissistic mother, and again, this is a first time meeting, so I don't know this person. I'm just being introduced to her energy. So in the first few moments, I was like, all right, I already have you have a block in your throat chakra, your heart
Mm,
chakra, as well as your solar plexus chakra. And then she started to cry, and she's nodding her head. I said, okay, well, let's work through that. And so I worked her through like just a visualization to help clear some of that. And I just said, this is not going to all be completely fixed, and you're going to walk away feeling like nothing ever happened to you in life, but this will at least help raise your vibration a bit. And we went through it, and she started to feel a little better, and her energy starts to calm down because I could feel that too. And then she starts talking, and I then start feeling someone in spirit. And
mm.
this wasn't a mediumship read, that's a different service of mine. So I'm just like, no, no, thank you.
Oh,
I have energetic boundaries, and so I just kind of said no. I'm trying to focus on this client. So now I'm getting nudged, and um, I'm feeling, oh, okay. I was like, I I I feel you, I recognize you, but now it's to the point where I actually can't hear my client because of he did like the spirit kind of interfered so much, and his energy got so big. So I took a moment, and I said to my client, I was like, excuse me, I'm really sorry to cut you off. I said, I have a spirit here that's really trying to get through. I said, I understand your dad's in spirit. And then she just starts crying, and she's like,
oh,
oh my gosh. And I was just like, okay, well, I didn't think this was going to be a mediumship read. And she was just saying how she really hoped that someone would have shown up. And I don't like to use energy readings for mediumship, because when I do mediumship reads, I do a meditation for it. I really do a different kind of preparation. That's why I separate the service. But this spirit wanted so badly to come in. And it was just so interesting to me how much he wanted to get this message across. I felt like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost when
ah,
she's just like getting bombarded. And I was
yeah.
like, and I always say it's not like you see in the movies. It's because it's not. It's so much more subtle. But in that moment, I was like, this is ridiculous. Because, like I said, usually the boundaries are up and they're just respectful of it. But this spirit really wanted to get through. So it was just really interesting. But just from a client standpoint, too, just as you say about the energies, I think people are really feeling a lot right now. There's a lot of emotion coming to the surface. There's a lot of synchronicities, and I think this could be happening for all throughout life, right? But just we're kind of in this period right now where I think people are feeling so sensitive to it and are so much more aware of it. They may not know what to do with it, but yeah, there's I think, a lot happening right now.
Wow.
So what's happened with you?
No, something similar. That's why I'm like, wow. Talk about synchronicities and all that. Like, I had a moment where because me, I think I was dabbling with it because I noticed I won't share it now, but like last year there was this whole traumatic event that finally made me like, the spirit jumped in front of me for the first time. Like, I've always heard them or this or that, but it was like
Hmm.
as I was going somewhere, the spirit jumped in front of me and they were like, no, no. And I was like, huh? And then sure enough, I went and something bad happened. So after that, I was like, fine. I was like, if you guys want to talk to me from now on, just go ahead. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
will listen.
yes, yes. I was like, fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. And so that opened me up, like, yeah, it was like night and day, right? Um, and so but like, I think I've been so busy, like with work and other stuff that for the last couple months, I haven't really, I have been experiencing things with like that, like the external world where there's like signs that are so exact, like synchronistic. Is like someone has a
Yeah.
better chance of winning the lottery than all these things to line up the way they've been lining up, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it all started. It was kind of a beautiful experience because it was like first, it was almost like a good luck kind of thing because I had gone to the mountains and then on my way down, all these things happened and I ended up going somewhere because I saw these people had cameras and I was like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, there's this bird that it's only the second time that it's been spotted in California. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
wow, yeah, everything that had to happen. That day, I already paid for my yoga. That day I skipped the yoga class. I was like, I don't feel like going. I'm gonna go climb this mountain, and I already paid for it. So it's like that's not really like something I
Yeah.
want to do, And then
Yeah.
something was nudging me, go to the mountain. I climbed the mountain. On my way down, something made me drive a little more into the mountain. I saw these people with cameras. I happen to have my camera with the card and the battery, which isn't always the case. Like I've seen things where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot the SD card. So I was able to take a picture of this bird that it's only the second time it's been spotted in California, like ever. Like, yeah. So I was
Wow.
like, wow.
You got a picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I was
That's
like,
amazing.
wow, I'm really lucky. And then some other big thing happened with luck, like being at the right place. I was like, oh wow, what the hell's going on? Like, so I was getting these kind of experiences, right? But what happened, I think on Memorial Day, I had said how I made a video about how like I woke up and my whole bed was surrounded by spirits. Like I was like, what the
Mm.
hell? And it freaked me out because that
It is
hadn't
freaky
happened
when they
before,
do
right?
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
someone is okay, someone's calling in, but let me finish this story real quick. So whoever's
Yeah.
just hold on real quick. So the whole bed was surrounded by spirits and it was for Memorial Day. And so I thought it was something to do with that, right? But I forgot like a few months ago, my dad had given me this whole bag of all these pictures from family members from like the 1920s, 1930s. So
Oh,
it's a
wow.
book I'm putting together actually. So I was like, wow, I think these were all these family members, and it's almost like I'm creating this memorial for them
Yeah.
through this book. So I think they all came like they were kind of showing me, but it would freak me out. It was like the way they
Yeah.
all
Yeah, it's
appeared there,
freaky
like
when they do that. Yeah.
there was I couldn't see anything. It was like over 50, like it felt
Wow.
like a ghost moment, like that, like Oda May,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what the hell, all the ghosts are here now. Well, let
Yep.
me go. I'll continue
Okay.
after. Let's see who wants to come through and
Yeah.
let's see. I don't know if they could hear. I asked them to unmute. I don't know. Whoever's calling, if you could unmute your phone. Hello? It looks like you're unmuted, so you just gotta talk. I don't know. I'm not saying nothing.
What about now? Is that
Oh
better?
yeah, there we go.
That's
There we
okay.
go.
Hi, Chris. Omar, how you doing today?
Hey, how's it
Good. How
going?
are you?
All right, doing good.
Good, good.
Just
You
watching, enjoying your content for sure.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Did you want to ask Chris a question?
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to see what's up in life. I mean, just in general, I guess I wanted to see if she had any insight on what's going to happen in like elections or anything positive or, just stuff like that.
Oh, that, okay. So when it comes to politics, I like to stay out of it,
Okay.
because the energies of it are often just dark. There's a lot of darkness that surrounds politics, generally speaking. There is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens. There's a lot of I don't know, like smoke and mirrors, really. So when it comes to politics with all of that and how that does it, like there actually is not like a foregone conclusion. And we've actually shifted into this place with that for so many people. So like just say, for example, you were coming to me for something for yourself personally, right? I wouldn't see one path. I would probably see several. So it really is just going to depend because there's so much happening with free will now of what path you're going to choose. And our guides are always very big on, they don't want us to choose or suggest, oh, this is the path you should take. It's, we never should get in the way of free will. So yeah, politics is always a funky one for that reason, because there are paths and they're all, paths that we're all very aware of, right? Of this could happen or that could happen. And, but again, because there's so much of this darkness behind the scenes, it really makes it kind of unsettling. So I personally don't love to dabble in that.
Yeah, it seems murky. I mean, that's what I'm just told, it's almost like wondering where life is going to go, right now. Just, everybody's kind of cautious right now. And yeah.
I mean, I guess for me, and in terms of, because I like what you're saying, just like people being cautious and, our world is often guided by fear, and we are often controlled via fear. So really a lot of the message I often receive when it comes to this is stay above the fear. Don't buy into it and connect to that. So however we can do that as individuals to connect to a sense of love and to remove ourselves from fear and, or faith over fear, that is absolutely a recycled and repetitive message that comes over and over. So if anyone finds themselves in a moment of fear or a feeling of dread or that, just, connect to faith, and whatever your faith may be, and even if it's in yourself, just connect to it, that you will figure out what's best for you, your family, loved ones, all that.
Appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate it a lot.
Of course.
Yeah. Did you don't have another, you don't want to know if you're gonna win the lottery or something?
No, I don't gamble a lot, I don't. It's really weird. My family situation. Yeah, but no, you know what I'm saying. But like I want to always know, but then I don't know. I'm always positive about what's around the corner. I'm not afraid to go to look around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always, because if you don't do it, somebody else will. So it might as well be you.
Yeah. You have a good nature to you.
I appreciate that. That's cool. Yeah, Omar, he's a rhymer. I'm a rhymer, entertainer. But yeah, that's a good positive thing. And what you're doing, is a great positive thing.
Oh, thank you. No, Don's a legend. He's been around a lot of musicians. He's done music for a long time, so he's been around a lot of very known musicians, but himself too. He's a great musician. So yeah,
he gives off the energy of a helper. Like he helps a lot of people.
You see?
Yeah,
he's someone to be counted on. Like he's very accountable. He's there for people. He's got your back. He's one of those.
Yeah.
Good to have in the corner.
If you only knew, you're right about that. That's funny you say that.
I feel it. I'm an energy reader, so I feel it. Yeah, I'd want you in my corner, man. Like you're a friend to have. Like you're a friend for life, unless they somehow prove otherwise.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But thank you for that slight reading, so just the energy. I appreciate it a lot. And, I'm just always trying to spread the love too, like, all the time trying to spread the love.
It's perfect. Yeah. And stay in that vibration. You'll be good.
Okay, that's good. All I need to hear, reaffirmation.
Absolutely. No, man, thank you so much. We appreciate it, for real. Thank you for calling and all that good
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, I'll talk to you soon, and Chris, have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he's yeah, really cool. We met like on I guess a movie or a TV show or something, and then I found out
Oh,
like,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, like everybody I listened to, like he had either worked with or something. Like I grew up listening to musicians, and he was like, oh yeah, I was in the studio with them. I was in the studio, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. He went to school with one of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know the
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, all right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
So, well, yeah, he's worked and he's been around a lot of people. What do you call it? Oh, what? Yeah. So I wanted to finish like that the story real quick about. So yeah, I felt like I don't know if you get any energy off that, but that's what I felt because at first I thought it had to do with like the Memorial Day thing, but I thought after I was like, wow, the way because these pictures are amazing. It's like I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
read the
they
book.
yeah, it's like these. But you saw the movie the like
The
the bit.
Leonardo DiCaprio one? Because
Yeah,
there's been
yeah.
a bunch of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like how everything's, I don't know, is it set like in the 30s or before that or something
Yeah, I
or
believe, yeah, that I believe it's, yes, the
yeah.
30s, around
So
that
that
time. Yeah.
yeah, so that's how these
Been a
pictures
while
are.
for me, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's how these pictures are. It's like and it's amazing because it's in Mexico. So I have all these pictures of all these different things that I hadn't really seen. And it's just amazing to me. It's so and then come to find out, I guess my brother, before he passed, he had actually given one of these pictures to a museum. I don't know what museum.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, he gave it to. I think it was a picture of like my grandpa at the border. I think he was like I don't know if he was a border patrol or something, right? At for a little
Hmm.
bit of time, I think he did a lot of different things. But even that, like I think there's a picture of like my grandma and I think according to my dad, like she was a bootlegger
Oh,
stuff. So
wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So it's
fun. Go
yeah, yeah.
grandma.
Yeah, yeah. So grandma was hardcore. Not even grandpa. Like it wasn't grandpa, it was grandma. She
I
was
love
freaking,
that.
yeah, she was
Go
bootlegging
grandma.
stuff. So I gotta find, but that's what I'm gonna do. Basically, I'm gonna get all these pictures and I'm gonna put the story next to like that, right? While I can
Hmm.
still ask my dad questions and while he's still here, I could ask him, hey, okay, who's this? And I saw a picture of my great grandpa. I had never seen him before. So now with this whole all these pictures, there's a picture of even my great grandpa. I guess someone else is calling. Let me go ahead and let him in because I
Okay.
know, yeah, we still have some time. Okay. Let's see. It says iPhone is connecting. Mm, all right. Connected. Ask to unmute. Hello? You're on, but we can't hear you. So whoever it is that's calling. Hello? I could hear some noise, so I don't know to say something. Hello? I don't know. Oh, okay. They muted themselves, so I guess they don't want to talk after all.
Well,
Let me
maybe they're playing with the volume by muting and unmuting again.
I don't know. Okay, let me ask them again to unmute because I guess they muted again. And if not, then I'll just hang it up.
Because I do that sometimes, like
Oh,
play, when you're pressing the button, like, let me try this because it's not working.
yeah. If you could hear us, go ahead, say something.
Oh, there's something, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it's like warbled.
Well, I went mute again, so I don't know. I guess just remove it or should I give them one more shot?
Give it another shot.
Okay then.
Maybe
Do
they have
one more.
headphones.
You have a kinder nature.
Why, thank you. But I'm like, that's not always the case.
Uh,
I'm feeling the energy. I'm like, I don't feel like, I feel they're trying, I guess, is
oh,
more. And I
yeah.
mean, they could always hang up and call back too. So maybe
Yeah, I
that might
guess,
be
yeah.
better
If
too.
if it's someone that's trying to, yeah, if you want to hang up and try to call again. I
I
keep
keep
hitting
hitting unmute,
unmute,
but
but
it's
it's
not.
not.
Yep. See,
Oh, well, you're
I could
unmuted
read
right
the energy.
now. Whoever's on there, you're unmuted right now.
And they definitely hear us. So I would say if you have headphones, that might help. If you don't already have headphones on, that is, but
yeah, because it's unmuted. Wow, look at you. You're right. You were right with the
again, it was an energy feel.
Yeah. No, that's good though.
That's all. That's all.
I mean, unless if they type a question in the I hear you. I'm enjoying listening for now. Keep talking.
Keep talking. Okay. All right, do me a favor. Type in your name. I could connect to your energy with a name, and I could, just kind of read. And if you have a question, you could type it in, and we could go that way.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, just go ahead, type in your name and
ask and I just need your first name. I don't need everything about you. Just a first name connects me to the vibration of your energy. Judith. Do I know you, Judith? Because I know a Judith that follows me on, or that I mutually follow, I should say, on Instagram, that I connect to a lot, and she's amazing. So if this is her. Yay! Okay. All right. I don't know Judith, but I feel like I know Judith because I've connected to her energy via Instagram. So yeah, Judith's amazing. Do you have any questions? I'd love that you called in. Thank you. And sorry for the funky technology.
Yeah.
And we can't blame Mercury right now, so who knows what's going on.
Funny.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
There we go.
Good.
There you are. Hello.
Hi. I have an appointment with you on Wednesday. I'm so excited.
You do, yes. I wasn't going to blurt
excited.
that out, but yeah, I am excited to meet with you, like officially meet with you, because I was just like, oh, is this the Judith I know? Because I don't know another Judith. So I just see your name on Instagram. So it's still great to connect with you now, even more energetically through your voice.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were going to be on here, and I went on Instagram and I saw your story, and I was like, oh my God, let me get on there.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, thanks for calling. It's great.
Yeah, this is so cool. No, I was enjoying listening to you guys. And I was actually glad you didn't say anything about politics, because honestly, I don't want to know.
Yeah, like I said, I don't love to get into that. And maybe that's just because I've had a lot of trauma in my own life. I like to keep my vibration higher. And if I go into that, it's automatically going to drop. And that's just for my own. There are plenty of psychics out there that really do that, and they're great at it, and they should be doing it. It's just not for me, because it's not where I want to be energetically. So
yeah, it's not a good place to be. It's really not.
Yeah, I feel like it just brings up a lot of turmoil. It brings up a lot of frustration. And like I said about the fear, it just makes people very scared because of the uncertainty and how politics are used to create fear. I don't love that. While I understand it, but like I said, I like to be a little more distance and just stay above the fear.
Yeah. I have enough things that scare me without adding more to it.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, let's not add to that, right? Yeah. So how is everything else for you? Do you have any questions?
I planned on writing a list for you on Wednesday.
Which is great. Lists
I don't.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know specifically. Do you have something in general that you're feeling that you can?
Well, I know that you communicate with animals, and I am curious for you about that with you, because I'm getting a quiet sense to that. Like, it's not constant, meaning like you're not doing it as much as you could be or want to be.
I don't as much as I used to. No, I don't.
Okay. Because I I think also there's probably a selfish element there because I just think it's amazing. So I'm like, oh, are you going to do more of that? And so I'm just asking spirit about that as I'm asking you. And like, I'm getting like a question mark. So it's a maybe. And think, like I said, you're very good at it though. I have this sense that, you do really well by it, and you give people a lot of comfort, and you see things that a lot of people are like, oh, you know, that's right. Like you kind of make them more aware of what they're already experiencing. So you definitely have an amazing gift to connect with animals. So I, like I said, selfishly hope you do it more, but like I said, this is a maybe for you, and it feels very choice oriented. So it really is going to be a matter of what you choose to do and how you choose to go about it.
It's, I've been having problems with it lately just because I'm so
the third eye stuff.
I don't know, fuzzy.
Yeah.
That's the best word I can think of.
Yeah,
I'm kind of fuzzy. So if it's not like one of my own or close friends, you know, whose animal I know really well, I have trouble with it these days.
Okay. Well, that explains the third eye stuff I saw with you the other day. Judith and I did a chakra read on her, and I felt a fuzzy third eye chakra. And when I messaged her, I was like, I think my monkey brain is getting in the way, but I really had to push it aside because I know she's very intuitive. So we can often get in our own way. And I really had to push aside, like, no, why am I seeing this? And then I got that fuzzy feeling. So yeah, it sounds like we're going to be working on your third eye chakra a bit.
Yeah, that would be that would be good, because I'd like to be able to do that again with ease.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I understand that especially that with ease part, because it's intimidating, you know, and especially, I don't know, there's just something so special about working with animals. I don't do a lot of animal communication, but when I do, I do love it because there's just something so peaceful about it. Even if it's not peaceful because there's something going on with them, it's still, they have such peaceful energy. Just animals are amazing.
And so, you know, and so accepting of whatever situation.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
like
yes.
if they're sick and dying, it, you know,
they're fine.
It's the way it is. And it's,
they're fine. Yeah. It's just very different. And it's so many things that we assume it's not what they are experiencing or feeling. And, you know, it's, yeah, I love how you said that. They are so accepting. It's really the right word.
Let me bring this up to Judith while we have, because, you know, I've been getting that more. I've always had the thing with the animals, but it was funny because, you know, this last full moon was a full moon in Scorpio, right? So there's, you know, the whole death and rebirth thing. But the day before the full moon, I was working actually like on this movie set, right? And it was a group of us, like, I don't know, 6, 7 of us. And we're there talking, and this little mouse crawls out of nowhere. It came all the way to us, and it was just right there. And it just like, didn't want to die alone or something. And it was like, so, you know, I gave it water, someone else gives it a little thing, and it's right there eating. But then, you know, one guy, was funny, but it was, you know, it was kind. It was so kind because he's like, oh, let's go call like the medic, you know. That was like, no, it's dying. Like, he's like, no, because you could see it grasping. First, it was just, it came to us. It looked very weak. I knew it was gonna die. I felt it. And then, sure enough, it gets on its side and it's like gasping for its last breath. And the guy's like, no, we gotta call. Like, he's trying to throw water on it. Like, what do you? Yeah. And then, no, but that was so kind-hearted of him, right? But then I literally felt the moment it left. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, no, it's gone. I just felt it. It's gone. And I think they didn't understand that, right? Like, they were like, what? But I was like, I literally just felt the moment it left this plane. And it felt like such a big energy. It had this gratitude to it. So it was like this tiny little mouse. And here it is. Like, boom, I felt its energy at the moment that it left. And then sure enough, like, someone went to touch it and they're like, oh, wow, you're right. Like, it's gone. Like, it was all stiff. I was like, I'm telling you, I wasn't playing. Like, I literally felt the moment that it left. So I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that, like Judith or even Chris, like, where that, like, it was so interesting to see that it felt like it didn't want to die alone. It came, it crawled out of nowhere. It wasn't afraid of us humans. This little, you know, mouse usually aren't going to do something like that. And they just didn't want to die alone. So it was interesting.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah. And it just happened on this So I looked at it like that, like, well, mouse energy is a more timid energy. So I always look at the meanings too. It was like, okay. And it does feel like I'm coming out of some kind of hibernation mode, like, right, like being more vocal and stuff. So I don't know if that connects with you in any way, Judith.
It that's funny. I was because I was thinking of my aunt a couple days ago. I was with my aunt when she died,
Mm.
and I felt when she left. Actually, before the machine stopped beeping, the room filled up, like with, I don't know, angels, her guides, her loved ones. The room was just full of it. And love like I have never felt on this earth before and haven't since. But it was the same way I felt when she left, as if she, as if she had just walked out the door.
Wow.
It was amazing. So yeah, I know that feeling.
Wow. Wow. No,
I have
thank you.
a different animal story, not in the same way that you have, Omar, but just when I realized I could communicate with animals, it was like 5 years ago, where this person that I know was telling me that her dog was sick and was dying, that the vet said it was time. And I, of course, was like, I'm so sorry. How can I help? And, and she was bawling. Of course, she's upset. She loves this animal. And she wanted to just, really be comforted. So I did my best to comfort her, and we had our conversation and then got off the phone. And then she happened to send me a picture of her dog. And I saw this picture and I fumbled, like I never have before, to call her back. I said, she's not done. She's not done. She's not done. I just kept saying, she's not done. I just knew this was not this dog's time. I saw her eyes and I was like, no. And she's just like, what do you mean? So then I started getting downloads, and so I was like, you need to go out right now. It was like 9:00 at night. I'm sending her to a grocery store to get supplements. And I was like, I know exactly what is going on right now. You need to go do this. So I was like, it is, because they were saying it was the dog's heart. I was like, it is not her heart, it is her liver. You need to cleanse the liver. You go right now, you get milk thistle and turmeric. And there was one other thing that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I was like, we need to cleanse her liver right now, because that is why her heart is working so fast. And so she's like, okay, and like drives to the store. And she's like, she still will tell me to this day, I remember driving to the store thinking, this is crazy, but what if she's right? It was like, it can't hurt. So she did that, and this probably carried on for over, like, I want to say 1 to 2 weeks, where I basically said, just wait. There's no rushing this, right? And during this waiting period, she saw the vet again. The vet confirmed it's time. The vet then sent her to a cardiologist for canines. This cardiologist also said, it's this dog's time. And here I am. I wasn't even like a working medium then. So I was basically just like, I don't know why I know. I just know it's not her time. And I said, just give it some time. Can you give her another couple days? And then she did. She just kept giving her more time. So that was, like I said, it's like 5 years ago. That dog is still alive today.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It was amazing. It's like an amazing story. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I love
that's
it. I love it.
Yeah, I saw her eyes and I was like, she's not done. She is not done. And the other thing too, I said, you need to connect with Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel works with animals. And I said, so I've always said, I was like, this dog is now going to live longer than she would have, because she's angel touched. I said, so, and she is, I mean, gosh, how old is she now? She's a Newfoundland, so they don't have a long lifespan, but she's already like at 12 or 13 now.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yes. Yeah. So it was just an amazing story, and just amazing that to be part of that, like animals are incredible. And she just was not ready. I could see in her face, and that could be really hard too. Judith, I'm sure you probably dealt with this with people, of just wondering if they did the right thing, if they took their animal to be put down, right? Like I've had people ask me that, like, those are, no one ever wants to feel like they did wrong by their animal.
Yeah. If you look in their eyes,
it's the eyes.
Yep.
Mm.
The eyes
They tell
you.
you. They tell you.
They tell it, and really, it was just a moment. I didn't even need to connect. It was just the eyes told me. I'm like, this dog is not done. It's amazing.
Wow. I had to put both of my dogs down in the same within a few months apart, and I felt really bad about that. I don't know if yeah. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel like it was the right do you connect to any energy with that? Like if it was the right time for them?
When it comes to animals, I feel like they know and they let us know.
Mm.
So I'm not getting both of your animals, but I am definitely getting one. So whichever one had a more dominant energy, I feel like this one let you know. And so that I don't feel a question connected to it, that it was like, no, it's time.
Yeah.
But was also sad to leave you, but not in a way that when they're sad to leave, it's because they don't want us to be sad.
Yeah, yeah.
They're ready. They're like, well, I'm out to have more fun,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Rainbow Bridge is awesome.
Yeah, she was because yeah, that one protected me. Like she was very
That makes sense. Yeah, the
yeah,
dominant
she was
energy.
very she was very protective. And yeah, she was selfish. She couldn't even walk anymore, like at all. So
Yeah,
she
there you
was
go. Yeah, she would.
yeah,
Yeah, she
she
let you
couldn't
know.
yeah, she
She
couldn't
let you know.
stand up. She couldn't like yeah, it was
Yeah.
sad. It was sad to watch. So yeah, I knew it was like like
Yeah,
at
they
that
let
point.
us know.
Yeah,
I think when like the story I had told, because I don't want now everyone to feel like every time they put their animal down, like should I not have, right?
yeah.
Because like I said, there were two independent vets that said it was this dog's time.
Right.
So it seemed a lot more crazy to be listening to me than to be listening to two professionals.
Mm,
And everything this dog was showing at the time for weeks made me look wrong, and these doctors look right. And this is not to suggest they're not good doctors. This was spiritual, this was magical. For whatever reason, this dog was not only meant to stay, but everybody who experienced the near death experience, like this dog was knocking on death's door, no
mm,
doubt. We all knew it. But for whatever reason, we all that partook in this had to experience it. There was something for all of us to learn in that, not just the animal, not just the owners, the vets, me,
mm,
anyone in spirit involved. There's just something bigger, right? Whereas anyone who might be questioning, should I have put my animal down, just connect with where you were at when you made the decision and how you felt guided. Because the whole reason the person that called me about her dog, because she knew, I was intuitive and I might have had a feel, even though she didn't flat out ask. I don't think that she was mourning. So I think ultimately, like, there wasn't any kind of motivation, like, do you have a feel? But I think she wanted me to kind of give her comfort that what she was doing was okay. And then when I got that, no, like, wait, she was willing to listen, and that was part of it too. I remember when she showed me a video. It was when the dog finally was turning around and she was playing in the house with one of the other dogs, and it was a video, and then she just wrote the words, "You did this." And I was just like, I mean, I cried because it was just
oh
so
wow.
beautiful to see this. And I didn't feel right taking credit, so I said, no, I didn't, you listened, because she could have ignored me. And not to say you have to listen to me, that sounds so obnoxious, but you know what I mean? It's just, it's not just one person, we are all collectively involved in these moments.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, while we're on, I don't know if Judith, if you have to go at any moment for by all means,
We're just keeping you here.
yeah. What do you call it? But I did want to ask, so what do you think is the main, because it was funny. I took my dog for a walk this morning and I was just looking at her like in awe, like wow, like they're so perfect, like they're so loyal, like companions and this and that. So I was just in awe. I was thinking like spiritually, like for some reason. So it's so interesting that we're having this conversation. I was like, how do you like, how do you come into like that? Are they like the same soul like us, or they're a whole different, like my brain just started going because I was just in awe of my dog, like as we were walking through the hills today, like on a hike. So what do you get from like the whole animal experience, like as like the beings that they are as they like come into this existence?
Are you asking me or Judith? Because
Oh, anyone, whoever, yeah, whoever wants to take
I
it.
would love to hear what Judith has to say on this, because I know she's got more experience with that. So I certainly have my opinion, but I'd love her take.
You know, I think about that all the time. You know, everybody says that they're just not human. They're below us. And I always feel that they're higher because they don't let things get to them the way we do, the way I do, you know, the way anybody does. They definitely take things more in their stride. You know, everything from birth to death, they take in their stride. I think even something silly, you know, is watching squirrels, you know, getting ready for winter. And I'm like, look at them. They're not complaining because they want to be sitting in the sun. They're doing what they know they need to do to get ready, you know?
Absolutely. And what do you think, Chris?
I believe animals definitely have a different vibration. I really believe a lot of what Judith is saying. I feel like they not only do they vibrate differently, they behave differently, they act differently, but I also believe, especially when it comes to our pets, that we contract with them for them because they come to us in these stages when we need them, or when there's the opening for them, right? And they exit when that chapter is closing for some reason, right? You know, it may not be so obvious. In some ways it is, especially in cases when people can remember so specifically why they got the pet, if they were grieving, mourning, you know, transitioning, anything like of significant change. Usually when that pet is due to exit, it's when that chapter of how that change energy has worked for that individual has come to a close. So it's like, okay, my time is done. And they recognize it, like, all right, I'm out. So I find that so fascinating because I think just you know, we are all one, right? We all are of the same, you know, oneness. You know, who's to say animals aren't part of that too? They're also souls. And I think too, because they are such a high vibration, I just have such a respect for them in that, because it's like, oh, what does that feel like to, you know, have that aspect? And not to say that animals cannot have human emotions, because we certainly see it. We see, you know, we see fear in animals, we see love in animals, and kindness and compassion, and right, you know, but they just have a pure element to them more often than not. Of course, there's exceptions to everything, you know. I could even say I've experienced that. But yeah, this is a very long, drawn out answer to just how incredible I think animals are. Because I think there's a difference, and there's probably some sort of difference just in terms of rankings. But I feel like it's very limited in our understanding. And we will understand it more when it's our time to be beyond and like, oh yeah, this all makes sense again.
No, absolutely. And you actually just reminded me of why I was thinking that this morning. Because this dog, I did get her. I had 3 German Shepherds and they all passed away within a year, but I got her as a gift right before. So they were able to be around her as a puppy. She never cried because she always had company. So, you know, she was able to like grow up with these, you know, the 3 German Shepherds, right? Or I think actually one of them had already passed, maybe, and then, you know, with the 2 females, she was around, so they kind of were nurturing towards her. But this is the first dog ever, not even the other ones that I had all this connection to, that she was coming in my dreams a lot. So I was like, what in the world? She was coming into my dreams. She even shape-shifted into a person and she was like, I was like, what? And she's like, you know who I am. And I was like, what in the world? She would talk after she started talking to me, like she like verbally talked to me, even as a dog, she was talking to me in my dreams. So I'm like, what is this little like talk about a spirit animal? Like, what is up with this? Yeah. But she hasn't done it. And I thought if it's similar to like human babies, when they come in, Like people will even see like, oh, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to so and so, and then they lose it as they get older. So now she just turned 2 in what was it, December? She turned 2. So I don't know if she's losing that now because she's not coming into my dreams anymore or none of that, right? Like and let me tell you this quick story. So when she had shapeshifted into someone, we were at the base of a mountain. It was interesting. And then she's like, you know who I am. So anyways, I took her for a hike to the mountains. And when we got down, I was so exhausted. She was too. I was telling her to get in the car and she wouldn't get in the car. And I told her like 20 times, I was like, man, like you're heavy. I don't want to lift you up right now. Get in the car. And she's like, she's just laying there on the ground. I'm like, oh my God, just get in the. And for some reason, after like 20 times asking her, I called her the name of the person she told me in the dream, and she jumped in like that. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So, like, I was like, okay. So, yeah, I was like, so it's proven you are this whoever you term. But it was like this, I don't know. Like, it must be from some kind of past life or, well, yeah. Do you tap into anything with that? Because it was like.
That's like a familiar.
But it was like, oh, she turned into a woman. Like, it was like this woman.
Yeah, that familiars are like humans.
So what's the difference? Like I've never really looked into what a familiar is versus just like a spirit animal.
This, I am just going to put out there that this is very witchy in nature, and not everybody loves that. So familiars are like someone that is being guided by a spiritual animal, but familiars have very human tendencies. Cats are very common familiars for a witch. Your familiar though sounds like it's your dog, and but she's guiding you and she's doing so in your dreams, or at least has done so. So they do serve to guide. They do serve to support you on your spiritual path, especially if you find you've really been coming into your gifts around the time you got her, and it has expanded since then. So she's there for this part of that journey. That's what that speaks to me on.
Does everybody have a familiar?
Not necessarily. It's a matter that's a soul contract thing. So and they might, not to say that people don't connect with pets as familiars, especially, I mean, when we have so many pets with very human characteristics, what I have found, and of course some people can say that this is or is not true, but the more human that especially a cat or dog, and this could happen with birds too, but birds are a little different because birds don't like to lose their flight. But I'm getting to the point of why that will make more sense. But the more human they seem, they have either already been human in other lifetimes, or their next lifetime is going to be human, because they're just adopting so many of the human characteristics. Birds, like I said, they can, look at a parrot, right? And how their personalities can be. But like I said, they don't tend to like to give up flying. So birds tend to like to stay birds. But cats and dogs, well, even a lot of like if you ever read books and stuff like past life regressions, they usually like to stay within their species. So like like I've read stories of like someone's like domestic cat in a past life, they were at a circus and it was the tiger in the circus and they were connected, right? So like they like to stay in the cat family, but not necessarily a domestic cat. So dogs tend to be kind of similar in that. But then supposedly, and I do believe this because I've just, when I have felt animal souls and I've communicated animal souls and they're like, no, next time's human, they do seem to want to get to that place to be human. So the ones like, and you guys might have had pets yourself that show such strong human characteristics. So you're like, you might as well be a human.
Absolutely. Well, this one, she definitely does. She does a lot of that. And you know what? It's funny that you said that, because maybe since she came, I think I have heard more things with animals. Like once I was gonna kill like this spider, and I heard it say, "Don't kill me." So I got it and I took it out.
Yeah, don't kill spiders. Relocate.
Yeah, I took it outside.
Yeah.
But there's been other times where I tried and then I heard it on the way and I was like, oh, shoot. And, so I was like, shoot, well, what do I do? Maybe I just got to leave it alone or something. But, but yeah. So maybe that's one of her purposes, and to connect me to understand. Yeah, because after her, I was like, okay, this is real. Like,
Yeah.
all the doubt flew out the window. Like, she literally
There you go.
shape shifted.
Yeah.
She did. I called her a person's name that she told me in the dream, and she jumped in the car. I was like, so now I do look at animals like I've always had a special connection, but 100% now I'm like, oh yeah, like there's something else. Like it's not just, like how you said, even higher than us, because they don't have that ego. They're just like doing what they're supposed to do, right? So
for the most part. I mean, I know people will then have a story, and I even have my own story. My grandmother's dog attacked me, and I still have the scar to reveal that.
wow.
So when people are like, well, that's not always the case. I understand what they mean by that, and I've experienced it. But there's also some karmic elements too. So if we have situations where we have bad experiences with an animal, there's probably karma balancing somewhere. I just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know, I mean, you still have some more time, or I mean, because I know you had until.
I have until 5. So
Okay.
yeah, like 15 more minutes. I do have that time.
Yeah. Is Judith still with? Did you have any other thing, Judith, you wanted to talk about?
um, no, I don't think so for now.
Okay.
But the thing about the familiars is just that's very interesting. That's really interesting to me.
Absolutely.
I'd like to look into that.
I was gonna say,
I don't think I've ever had
look
one.
at that. Usually, because I know you have a strong cat energy, but you feel like you have had a lot of pets. But I say for you, I'd be surprised if you didn't have a familiar, at least at one time. And it feels like it would have been one that really was around you probably in one of your harder times in life. And I know we all go through hard times in life, but one that you can bracket of like, this is the pet I had when, it was rough. That feels like familiar energy.
The one, I have a cat. Yeah, we went through some hard times, and he was a stray kitten whom a friend of mine took in, him and his sisters. And everybody who came to look at him, he would hide under the sofa. I had 4 cats at the time. I was like, I'm not taking another cat. I can't.
Yeah.
And I walked in her house, and he came out from under the sofa and climbed up my leg.
That's very familiar energy
I was done. He was mine.
Yep.
So I took him home, and he protected me.
Yeah, that's a familiar.
Until he died. So I was going to say he may have been one.
Yeah.
Like he protected me from stuff that I didn't need protecting from.
I love this. So I'm like, yep, that's a familiar. Yeah, that was your familiar. Yeah. Yeah. And you can have more than one in a lifetime. It really just depends. But that one's definitely a standout, because I'm like, you would have gone through. So like, I feel like this fragmented piece of like, okay, time was really tough, and you needed this cat at that time.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Cats are pretty amazing like that. Dogs too. Dogs and cats are just very different in their energy.
Yes, they are.
As you know.
They are. They're different, but I love them both. I love
likewise
any animal.
Yeah,
any animal. It's people likewise. I have a problem with.
Yeah, also likewise. Well, people are just more complex with their energy. Animals are easier to read, for better or for worse. Animals, what they put out is, who they are. Humans, that's not always the case.
Yep. You can always trust them.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, like the talk about cats, because on my way down from the mountain, there was a bobcat, right? And that was the first time. I mean, I got the message though, because it was the first time the bobcat was literally on the hiking trail down the mountain, and I had never, it just wouldn't move. And it's like, it was just laying there, right? And it looked so, like there was so much wisdom in its face, and as I was looking at it, and it was clear, but I even felt bad because after, like, I just kept walking towards it slowly till it moved. I know people are afraid. They're like, I even felt bad. Like, maybe I should have just sat down and talked with it or something. But even on my way down the mountain, like, it got dark to where it was really hard, like, hiking down. Like, I couldn't see. So it was like I was walking really slowly because I almost slipped a few times because it was dark. So I knew I really didn't have time to waste to get down safely down the mountain, right? But that had never happened. So it was clear. But bobcats, they represent that, right? Like the tapping into the other world, right? Like the seeing into the spirit world. And then I had just had that experience when all the spirits were around me. So I don't know if that was kind of like the bobcat introducing me into like, oh, it's gonna be even more hiding now. But I felt bad about like not taking the time. I mean, I don't know if you get anything from that because I felt bad. I was in my head about that. I was like, man, why the hell? It was clearly it wanted to tell me even more, but I don't know if that was the whole message. And then I should have just stuck around longer with the bobcat.
Have you ever worked with a shaman or studied shamanism? You have a like very strong shaman energy to you.
I mean, like that was one of the things that I was always like kind of upset about. Like I felt like I was supposed to, I wasn't born into a native culture, but if I would have been that, right? So I had to find it. I mean, I didn't get involved into like where I started going to native ceremonies and everything till college, right? One of my professors was native. She used to have ceremonies, and then I got more around that. That's when I started tapping into that more. But yeah, I mean, it's just being in nature so much. It's a huge part of it, but it's not like there's communities everywhere. Like, I ran into bears, like they don't frighten me. And I know, like, I remember I told someone like I ran into a bear and then they sent me like a movie about like this guy that got killed by bears. So like,
you're like, thanks.
Yeah, it's like, but I'm not afraid of these animals. Like even that bobcat, right? Like I know bobcats can attack people, they could have, but I feel the energy. Like I don't think, I know when they're, like it feels safe because of that. I feel that they are a spirit, and they know I don't mean them any harm, any negative things or anything, right? So that, but what do you get? I
Well,
mean,
cats can see auras. So cats, why, they stare at things and they'll stare at people and they'll start hissing at people, or responding very positively to people. It's because they could read auras. They could see things. So this actually happened even recently. One of our cats was freaked out by my husband but I didn't see that it was my husband standing on the other. I saw the cat and I saw him freaking out and I was like, what's going on? And then I see my husband then walking towards, and the way the cat was behaving, and I was like, you need to come with me. And I like brought him out of the house. I'm like, whatever's on you, he sees. So I trust the cat. I'm like, I always will trust a cat. Because cat never responds to my husband. Cats love my husband. They even if they're not his, like he's he's a Sagittarius, so animals and Sagittarius one and the same practically. But I was like, I don't know what's on you, but I'm trusting him. So we just cleansed his energy. But yeah, cats are so incredible like that, and just they'll see stuff and they will respond. And I always trust a cat.
Wow. Well, that made me feel kind of good.
Yeah, dogs can see stuff too, but dogs smell it more. That's why, like, if you see a dog freak out at a person, I will always trust that. I mean, same kind of thing. Like, I'm a big dog lover. I grew up with Newfoundlands. I have a Saint Bernard now. So anytime like the doorbell rings, if I go to open the door, she's with me because she has a presence. So I like that. But she'll tell me if something's off. I could generally sense things too, but she'll smell it. So I like that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, animals are so cool. But
so you think,
like I said, you have such shaman energy. I really believe you should start dabbling in that somehow. And I know that so many people that are, especially they're born into it, they have something very against people who were not born into it and they don't have the lineage to start practicing. So I definitely say, trust your judgment with who you connect to and how you connect to on that. Maybe you're not supposed to be a shaman, but maybe there's something in that for you that you are supposed to connect to. Maybe you're supposed to go on a shamanic journey or something of that nature. But you have such strong shaman energy around you now that I believe there's a reason for it.
No, thank you. No, and I guess that's the upside to not having been like boxed into a certain thing, is that I don't feel like I need permission from anyone. So that's
Yeah.
the good thing. Like if someone was like, "Oh, well, you didn't," like it doesn't even bother me. Like so, because I've already faced little things like that in certain things. So and I don't. So that's a good thing. That's enough.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for saying that. I probably will
Yeah.
then maybe look into it more because it's always has called to me. But I guess at some point, I started veering off from it. So yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much. Oh, when
Yeah,
does your
sure.
book come out then? Because I know we only got like 5 minutes left. When does your book come out?
My book is out. You can
Oh, okay.
pre-order it on Amazon. So yeah, An Old Soul's Journey by Chris Wasko. Wasko is how to look that up because now I gotta wait for it to really get up in like searches because it's so brand new and indie author land. So and if anyone does buy it and can leave a review, hopefully positive, but that's really, that's how we try and grow and get out there as authors. All the marketing is on us and the love of people like you allowing me to put it out there. So I thank you for that because I know this book is supposed to be out in the world because I never would have been pushed so much and have gone through all the hoops I had to go through to get this to happen. So I'm grateful it's out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Judith, thank you so much for tuning in and
Yes, thank you, Judith. You're great. I'm so excited to meet you even further this week or this coming week, I should say.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, because I know we're already running out of time, I'll put the links then to the book. If you want to send them to me, I'll put the direct links to the
Oh,
book.
perfect. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
in the description to the live and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, okay, we'll end it there because I don't want to cut it close. I know you said you had till 5. We
Yeah.
got a few
Thank
minutes.
you.
So no, thank you. I love this talk. See, I had a good feeling beforehand. I knew it was gonna be, and yeah, what better way? I mean, what better thing to talk about than animals? That's like my thing. I love it. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So
Animals are
absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, who knew? We thought we'd be talking about old souls and narcissism, and we just get into animals and familiars. So I love how this evolved. This is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so thanks to everybody that tuned in. I had another friend too, Mariska. She's in oh my God, I think the Netherlands, the Netherlands. So but she said she's gonna watch it after because I think it was already like I don't know what time. I think it was
Oh
already
yeah,
almost 2 in the morning over there. Yeah, yeah.
middle of the
So
night by her. So
yeah,
yep.
yeah. So I mean, she'll watch it after. So I just want to say hello to her, Dawn. Thank you for calling, Judith, and everybody else that tuned in. So thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. It's always an
Thank you.
honor. And okay, on that note, we'll end it there.
You guys have a
Perfect.
good
Thanks so
night.
much.
Okay,
Bye.
you
You
too.
too. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Hey, we did
let me
it.
see.